Well, hello there, friends. It's Matt from Overlap, and I'm continuing my series on how to learn to code as a marketer in this third video. And it's the longest one of the group, and I cover a lot. So I go from how to ensure you have the right information diet to staying motivated and getting plugged into your community, to even make sure you're solving easily addressable questions using documentation the right way. So keep watching. I hope this is really helpful. Send me feedback you have, and enjoy this third piece. I'll talk to you guys soon.
If you're going to be learning all these things too, you need to be sort of giving yourself the right information diet. And that can look like a lot of different things. For me, it was a lot of courses and YouTube videos and Medium articles, but there's tons of different options. So while you're immersing yourself in the right resources, there's a lot of places to start. But I like to start with an online course. Signing up for something like Free Code Camp is a huge win because it's interactive, it's easy, you get quick wins, and it has sort of a menu, a roadmap for you to follow and start learning, especially HTML and CSS. If you spent 1 hour a day going through the Free Code Camp curriculum, in 10 days you would be able to use Bootstrap and you could do that landing page project that I talked about, or at least the hard parts of it. Some of the other online courses that I've really learned a lot from are Udemy. You have to be picky on Udemy courses because some of them are really good, some of them are really not so good. But some of them, like Stephen Greider's React courses, once you get up into some intermediate JavaScript stuff, are really, really good. And there's some good intro ones as well. You just kind of have to do your homework and look at other people's recommendations. As you get into intermediate levels, using things like Treehouse to get access to a bit more stuff, or even as you're starting out, and definitely intermediate advanced things like egghead.io, and individual developers can have some really good things as well. I love some of Wes Boss's tutorials. There's a free one on Flexbox you can try that's really fun, and some really great ones that he's come out with. So I know some other people, like I think Sean McCabe has some, Wes Boss, Scott Tolinsky. So there's some great people out there who have great courses that you can learn from. If you learn better from a certain type of personality or the way they teach their course, go look at their stuff and go download their stuff and just try it out. Coding programs and developer boot camps can be really helpful too. That was one of the big things that I learned from through a program called OK Coders, which was great. And the reason it was great is because I was able to hop in with some people who were just like me. They were a beginner and they were new. I had real instructors who had practical hands-on experience in the Oklahoma City development community, and I got to work on real projects and show them off to people. And so it was very motivating for me. It forced me to be practicing every day and every week so I could work on this project, and I didn't let my teammates down, which for me was really key. So check and see if you have a local, even if it's not a full-blown development boot camp, see if there's a program at a local community college or somewhere else that can sort of keep you accountable if you're one of those people who takes online courses and then you just kind of drop off because no one's looking. I'm also super addicted to watching YouTube videos. Things like Fun Function, Level Up Tuts can teach you a ton and help you really do like what's called Let's Code videos, which is where someone's coding through something and you can follow along on your own computer and sort of just copy the code they're doing. And when you're getting started in that imitation phase, that can be huge to be able to see exactly how they're doing it, and especially live streams, because you can see developers work through bugs that they encounter and problems and realize, oh, they don't have it all together. They're using Google a lot too. And it'll help kind of deal with some of those feelings you have that, oh, maybe I'm not good enough to be learning this stuff, because you are, and you can figure it out. Another huge thing is Medium. Medium is a blogging platform you can subscribe to and follow people that you really like, and they write great short and long form articles. And so there's some really great ones. Free Code Camp puts out a ton of Medium articles, and there's some great how-tos and tutorials and things on trends in web development too that you can learn a lot from as you're starting out, and just kind of getting familiar with the vocabulary, learning how other people do things, and seeing some of the cool projects people are working on and seeing how they built them. It'd be super helpful. Another thing that I like to do is build what I call a copycat list. This is a list of a few developers and companies that I really admire that I want to be like. So on my people list, I have people like Rob Sobers, David Heinemeier Hansen, the founder of Calzumeus, Patrick McKenzie, and who kind of do things in this marketing developer space and have had a lot of success with it. And seeing things that they're building and seeing how they're marketing the things that they're doing is really inspirational to me. And then I also have companies that I really just admire their product, their marketing, and the product that they build, usually software companies, but things like Basecamp, Drift, the live chat company. I find really inspirational, and I can go to their marketing sites, I can see their product launches, I can subscribe to all their content and learn a bunch from them. And so if you don't have a copycat list of people that you want to learn from, that you follow really closely and that you get a lot of inspiration from, go start one, even if it's just a couple people and a couple companies, because you can start learning right away and have sort of some people to model your projects after. Another thing that I found super, super helpful is to become a DevTools addict. This is a functionality in Chrome where you can basically hop in and peek behind the scenes on any website or app that you're using in Chrome. And you can see how their HTML is structured, you can tweak the CSS and play around with it and see what scripts they've loaded up to be able to add interactive elements. And this is huge because it really helps with that imitate and tweak phase, where if you're trying to tweak something, you can try it out in your browser, but even as you're browsing around and you're saying, oh, I really like the way they did that menu, I wonder how I could do that myself. I was doing this last week on Stripe's website where I saw, ooh, I really like their drop down, how did they do it? And seeing how they do it versus other companies I admire just helps you train your brain to see the patterns and to start thinking like the best developers so that you can do it in your own projects. Then one of the last things I always recommend people to do is read the documentation for the tools and the software that they want to use. And this is so easy to overlook, and I am really tempted to overlook it a lot of times too. But say if you're learning React, just go read the React documentation. It's so thorough and helpful, especially for those big, what's called open source libraries, where lots of people are contributing to the software through something like GitHub all over, and people are contributing, and thousands of people are adding their little bits to make it better. Usually they have great documentation on those big tools and systems and frameworks that you want to use. So go read it. If you're trying to learn Bootstrap, go through all the examples, try them out yourself, and give it a shot. And if you run into something, go read that first. And that'll usually solve like 5 out of 10 questions that you have if you run into problems on your project. One of the last things I recommend is seeking out feedback from developers that you want to be like. So this could be mentors, this could be community, online or offline, but make sure that you're always getting feedback from people who are even just a couple steps ahead of you in your development journey. I know for me, I've had a couple more experienced developers who have really given me active feedback, who I've taken out to coffee, and it's been invaluable, just the lessons I've learned from them. Things like just ship your code out there and just get out there, to getting involved in the local Oklahoma City development community. It's just been invaluable. And even one of my other instructors at OK Coders helps me understand, okay, here's where you're actually at, here's some things you should focus on next, and kind of understand where I'm at in my level if my goal is to eventually get a job in the development field or get a job in marketing development, and how that all works out. If you're like me too, if you're not involved in a community, if there aren't other people depending on you and you have that accountability, it's really hard to stick through with something, because you'll be excited about coding for the first few days, and then as time goes on and it gets hard, a little more challenging, it can be easy to drop off because you're not letting anyone down except yourself. I'd also say too, don't pick between online and offline communities. You can do both. So if you're in a place where you don't have a lot of sort of meetups or classes or anything like that, start with online and then keep looking for local meetups or community things that are going on. See if you have a free code camp group available that you can jump into. And if not, think about starting your own, because having that combination of online and offline to keep things going, you get different things from both, and they're both valuable in different ways. So I hope this was super helpful. If you have any questions, drop me a note. I'd love to know what you think. And if you have ideas for other things I should talk about, let me know. See you guys soon.